Good morning to members of the media and the listening public. As the Minister of Economy and Labor, I am privileged to present the key findings of the 2025 Bermuda Job Market Employment Briefs, which is based on data collected through the 2024 Employment Survey. Bermuda's economy experienced job growth with an 1.8% increase, or 585 jobs between 2023 and 2024, bringing the total number of jobs filled to 33,451. The increase in jobs filled reflects positively on Bermuda's economic landscape and growth prospects, while also highlighting the need to continue to build upon progress. Key findings from the 2023-2024 comparison shows that 13 out of 19 industrial sectors reported job expansion, highlighting diversified economic growth. The top 3 industrial sectors for growth were the administrative and support services sector, which recorded a 7% increase, adding 124 jobs, and now stands at 1,903. The international business activity sector recorded a 2.3% rise, adding 113 jobs, totaling 5,040. And the human health and social work sector saw a 4.3% increase, adding 109 jobs for a total of 2,647. While more Bermudians were working in 2024 compared to 2023, Bermuda's aging population and low unemployment rate led to modest Bermudian job growth. Essentially, new jobs filled by Bermudians simply replaced jobs possessed by Bermudians exiting the workforce. As a result, Bermudian jobs increased by 0.1%, or 18 additional jobs, reaching 22,369. This represents 67% of all jobs filled. The number of jobs for other non-Bermudians increased by 6.8%, with 550 more jobs, totaling 8,677. In terms of income, the median gross annual income for all job holders increased by 1.3%, or $913, to $71,151. The median gross annual income for all age groups increased year over year. The top 5 highest paid jobs for Bermudians were physicians, directors and chief executives, finance general managers, dentists, and judges. The top 5 highest paid jobs for other non-Bermudians were directors and chief executives, underwriters, specialist economists, securities analysts, physicians, finance general managers. Table 4 in the employment brief serves as a tool for identifying potential job opportunities for suitably qualified Bermudians. The table shows the distribution of Bermudians and other non-Bermudians in selected occupational categories, as well as the percentage of jobs filled by other non-Bermudians. In 2024, some of the key occupations that present opportunities for Bermudians include chef, de partie, cook, director and chief executive, waiters and waitresses, actuaries, finance manager, accountants, cleaner, houseperson, registered nurses, masons, and landscape gardeners. While the jobs data demonstrates growth in many job market areas, the government is fully aware of the need to continue to prioritize the creation of sustainable employment opportunities, especially for Bermudians. Our unwavering commitment is to ensure that Bermudians have access to stable, well-paying jobs and are positioned to benefit from our economic growth. It is also important to note that while we have made progress, the number of jobs filled remains 927 below the pre-pandemic levels of 2019, underscoring that work still lies ahead. The 2025 Job Market Employment Briefs and the 2024 Employment Survey tabulation sets are essential tools for assessing employment trends and informing our labor policies. They provide us with clear understanding of the employment landscape and of our island and are available at the Department of Statistics online at gov.bm. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. At this time, we welcome questions from the media.
Okay, thanks for the update, Minister. Sorry, just a couple of questions on, you had mentioned previously about a zero tolerance policy for immigration infractions. And I just wanted to ask you where we are with that, whether that's all been implemented, any progress reports you can give on that.
Most certainly, we take our immigration laws and policies serious in Bermuda, and as a result, since that press conference, we have continued to adhere to zero tolerance for any infractions, and we ensure that there are appropriate compliance measures set out for persons who are violating our rules and laws.
Since you held that press conference, have you seen a rise in infractions, given that this policy had been sort of doubled down on?
I think that the public understood the tone in which that information was presented, and I think that they're trying their best to adhere to the policies.
Okay, is it still of concern? Are there still a concerning number of infractions that you're aware of?
As infractions are brought to our attention, they are addressed. I can't say that there is a heightened volume of infractions since the press conference.
Okay, and then speaking to another announcement that you'd made, that to get the ideal number of workforce, we needed to raise our working population by 8,400 and within 5 years, and then that was deemed a little too ambitious. Are there any updates you can give in terms of that? Is that still the number that we need, and do you have a new timeline?
So the number will remain until we do the 2026 census. At the 2026 census, we will get a proper benchmark regarding our population levels and our working populations so that we can recalculate our old age dependency ratio.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And in terms of the 1.8% increase in jobs filled, is that what was expected? Is that the goal that you were hoping for? Or are you happy with that?
Yes, it is meaningful progress. What we see is steady job growth year over year, and we are making progress. We see that what I'm pleased about is that we see diversified growth. And so when you see growth in 13 of our 19 industrial sectors, it means that the growth is not concentrated in one sector, but we see growth in multiple sectors. We still have projects that present us with great levels of opportunities, such as when Fremont Southampton opens up, you would know that that's hundreds of additional jobs that will be inserted into our job numbers as well. And so I'm optimistic that we are trending in the right direction and that we are providing opportunities for people to be economically active in our population.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Minister.
Good morning.
In your remarks, you noted that about 927 jobs have yet to be filled, which would bring us back to pre-pandemic levels. Is that number still attainable? I wondered if that's still a goal to fill those jobs. What's your outlook on that?
Most definitely. I don't see the momentum that we're having with job growth abating anytime soon. And so even when I'm talking to businesses in Bermuda, they have expansion plans. Not many businesses I'm talking to are talking about contraction of their employment levels. And so persons are looking for bigger office spaces. People are talking about how they can actually expand their business. We see greater levels of economic activity. We see greater levels of construction activity, as indicated in the Q1 economic update that was actually provided. And so we are trending in a positive direction, and we are creating job opportunities. We actually now have demand for labor that we cannot fill. And so, for example, we had to have a construction job fair for the firm of Southampton. We were unable to fill all of these jobs that were actually required, and we will continue to double down to try to get able-bodied Bermudians active in our job market. But when we look at the overall trend, certainly is a positive step in the right direction. And if you look at our year-over-year average growth, I believe it's around 650 jobs average that we are growing our economy.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think there's a lack of interest there in Bermudians getting into the construction industry? Is it a lack of interest or just a lack of people willing to, or just a lack of personnel?
If you look at our unemployment rate is extremely low, which means we do not have an abundance of able-bodied Bermudians who are willing to enter the job market.
Are you able to say around how many work permits have been granted in the construction industry lately?
I will be able to get those numbers to you, so I'll endeavor to get those numbers to you. We keep track of those numbers, and that's something I'm happily able to share. But I think that if you look at the job market data, you can see the number of non-Bermudians. A portion of those non-Bermudians obviously may not be work permit holders, but you can say that the vast majority of them are work permit holders, and that data is in the tables at the aggregated level.
Okay. Thank you. And I know the last time we spoke, there was work being done to improve the work permit processing, et cetera, at the Department of Immigration. A vendor was secured to implement new and necessary equipment. How has that been?
And so we're still progressing in terms of our digitalization exercise, but notwithstanding that, we have a new work permit policy that we have actually rolled out and will come into effect in the 1st of November 2025. I'm pleased to report that the processing times for processing work permits have decreased drastically, and so we are making steady progress, notwithstanding that once we get the digitized system, we would have an efficient department.
Okay. And then just lastly, I wondered if the department had factored in any impacts of AI and what that could do to filling these jobs that we need to create a more robust economy.
And so AI will be a feature of economic activity moving forward. That is at the individual company level, how businesses choose to integrate AI into their business practices. Right now, we haven't seen huge impacts as it pertains to our labor market. What we've seen is AI complementing the current business operations that are being undertaken within our economy. And so what we haven't seen is displacement. It was the same thing when we started to talk about automation. When automation was the new buzzword, we thought that there were reports that our workforce is going to shrink by X amount of jobs. We didn't see that coming to fruition in Bermuda, and so I am not too concerned with the advancement in technology. I think it would complement the business services provided.
Okay. I'm sure that's good news for a lot of people. And sorry, just lastly, as we know, IB insurance, these job growth has been exponential. It's pretty much self-contained. But I wonder when it comes to local job creation in terms of the local economy, what's the most significant barrier? I know that the department has workforce development training going on. Are you seeing much progress in terms of getting Bermudians skilled up to join the local workforce?
Most definitely. In the last House of Assembly sitting, I did roll out the quarterly initiatives that the Workforce Development Department were undertaking, and they were my report was very robust and comprehensive as it pertains to the number of people in terms of our reach and our ability to train, scale up, and provide services to those individuals. But if you look at our job numbers, I think that is the most reflective indicator in terms of our unemployment numbers. We had youth unemployment that was over 33%. Now youth unemployment is under 3%. And so you have to see that there has been a remarkable shift in the level of young people unemployed in Bermuda. And part of that must be attributed to the work that the Department of Workforce Development is doing to connect our young people with jobs.
Okay. Thank you, Minister.
Yep. Thank you. That was the final question from the media. Minister, would you have any closing remarks you would like to share with the people of Bermuda?
Most definitely. Our job numbers are positive. Our economy is robust. It continues to expand, and we see inclusive economic growth with the expansion of jobs within our economy.